Hello everyone, Teeny here for Papertrey Ink. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thanks so much for joining me. Today we're making a card. We're making a graduation card in 5 easy steps. We're going to be using some new items from Papertrey Ink. The items that we're going to be using are the Framed in Success Sentiments. It goes perfect with the Framed in Success die set. It's a large die set, but I love the frames in here, especially the photo frame. We'll be using this in our card. And then I'm also going to be using the cornered graduation die set. I have 2 die sets here. This is the cornered, these 2 pieces, and then this here is the elegant edges graduation. We're just going to be using the corners for our card today. So we're going to jump in with step number 1 and create our focal point. We're going to be using the Framed in Success. I'm going to die cut out the photo frame, the graduation cap, 2025, some glasses, and a diploma. And just for a fun note, I thought we would do a little bit of layering with our eyeglasses. And then I did die cut out the eyeglasses with some acetate. These would be really cute. I'm going to put this back in the package. I'm actually just going to use the lenses. And then what we're going to do is stack our glasses together. And I thought maybe if we stack them, it'd be easier to inlay those lenses. So let's layer these. Actually, before we layer this one, I am going to bring in my ink. I'm using terracotta tile, and I'm going to do a little bit of gradient blending on the bottom here of my glasses, because we might as well make them stylish, right? So that's all we're doing to this. I'm just going to layer this on top of the white ones. And then as I layer these, I'm going to offset it a little bit. And I did this so I have a little bit of a ledge to add my lenses. Let's see if my idea will work. We'll just insert our lenses here. So the little ledge we created when we offset them was a place that our lenses stuck. Now my glasses look like my glasses do right now. They're very filthy. So I'm going to wait till the glue dries, and then I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol and I'll clean them up, shiny them up nice and new. So those are our glasses. I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending on our graduation cap. So I have some Blueberry Sky ink, and we're going to add a little bit of color at the very top. And then I also have this bottom piece, which curves this way. I'm going to add a little bit of ink at the bottom here. And the cardstock that I'm using is Blueberry Sky also. The cardstock here is Orange Zest, and the ink that I used was terracotta tile for that. Okay, I am going to add a little dimension by putting this, a foam square behind here. Now we need to add our tassel. So all I'm going to do is add a dot of glue here. Maybe we'll layer our tassel too. So I'm going to add a dot of glue at the bottom of my tassel. And I die cut mine out with some gold glitter cardstock just for a festive look. So there's our tassel. I'm actually going to hold it together with my tweezers, my reverse tweezers, because glitter cardstock is kind of hard to glue. And then I'm going to give that a second to adhere. That's my graduation cap. For my diploma, I'm going to bring in my soft stone ink, and then we're going to add some gray to the edges. Gives it a little bit of depth and dimension. That's all there is to that. And then I'm going to wrap my diploma with a gold band, and then I'm also going to add a gold ribbon. And then that's our diploma. So we have glasses, we have our graduation cap, our diploma. We have some stars here that I'm going to add a little bit of color to. And then of course I have the 2025 that I die cut out with the black cardstock. Let's add a little bit of color to our stars. I'm using Summer Sunrise ink. And I'm just going to add some darkened edges. And my stars are all done. Okay, we're going to put this to the side. Now basically that's going to be our focal point. I'm going to clean off my work surface, and then I'm going to die cut out my photo frame, and then that will be step number 2, my home panel. I thought we would make a kind of sort of shaker card, and to do that I actually die cut out one of the frames in our die set with orange zest cardstock, and I'm going to layer this right over my photo frame. And then I have a background that I just trimmed down to go behind here, and then I also trimmed down a piece of acetate. Now I'm going to use the thin bead of glue here, and then we're going to add our acetate. Okay, I have glue oozing out, so I'm just going to use a little bit of alcohol, and I'm going to use that same alcohol on my glasses here. Clean those up a little bit. If you have any glue that oozes out, alcohol will clean it right up. So now we have an acetate. Now you could very well turn this into a shaker card if you want, but I don't want to distract from my focal point. So what I'm going to do is flip this over, and I'm going to add some glue along the edges. And normally, and you want to make sure that when you add glue, you add it to where there's no open gaps. Okay, and then I have some flat stars, and these little flat stars don't have any depth to them, and I'm not sure where I got these from. If I can find them, I'll list them. We're just gonna, any kind of flat sequin you have would work, but I just want, and these are clear, so it's just going to add a little extra specialness to my background. So I filled it in here, and then now, since we just added glue, I'm going to take my panel and I'm just going to sandwich it together. Since our sequins that we're using are flat, this shaker card is going to be flat too. I'm just going to press it down really good and let this sit here. Let me flip it over and show you what it looks like. It does shake. Okay, but it doesn't shake too much. But I still have that sparkle background. That kind of celebratory sparkle background. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my 2025 and we'll add a little glue at the bottom here. Maybe I'm going to actually start with my 5. Because this is going to go all the way to the right. Now I'm adding 2025, but really you could add any date that you want. Now I did put it all the way to the right because this way we can move along to step number 3, which is creating our sentiment. Now our sentiment, we're going to take our stamp set and stamp, there's class of. So I'm going to take this, and then I'm using my True Black ink, and I'm going to stamp class of right next to my 2025. Okay, so that's part of my greeting, and then I'm also going to stamp You Did It, but I'm going to stamp this on some white cardstock. I'm going to stamp You Did It. Okay, and then I'm going to use my scissors and I'm just going to block this off. Now we'll put everything together here. So let's take our hat, add our hat over here, and then we will add our diploma. Wonderful. And then I have our stars that we're going to add to our background also. Now after we have this done, I need to work on my background. We're going to move along to step number 4. We are going to take an A2 panel of Blueberry Sky cardstock, and then I'm going to take my corners, and we are going to add, we're going to die cut out 4 corners. I'll do 2 here and then 2 here. I'll do that and I'll be right back. So we have graduation caps all over the place here. What I'm going to do next is take my Blueberry Sky ink and I'm going to ink blend on the edges of this panel here. Now I'm going to take my card base. I'm going to take my background panel and we're going to adhere it directly to the front of our card base here. Now our background's done. I'm going to take our home panel. I'm going to flip this around. We're going to put adhesive behind here. And then this is going to go tack down. This is going to go tack down right in the middle. Give that a good press. And then lastly, all we have to do is embellish. I have some Papertrey Ink Blueberry Sky gems, and we're going to add a few gems in our background. And then that will finish off my card today for Papertrey Ink. Super fun graduation card. Of course, if you wanted to, you could use some of the sentiments inside the Framed in Success and stamp it on the inside. There's a lot of fabulous greetings that will fit on the inside. But thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.